everyone, it's Jen again. To be honest, I didn't have that much to talk about this week. I was just, I wanted to kind of give the follow-up for like last week's video.
So?
This week I've just been working on writing a lot. Most of it has actually been like the side conversations, like the bond conversations for the 5 new possible companions. Yeah, mainly that, along with doing the quips. I want to say that it probably took like maybe 8 or 9 days to do both main story routes. So, you know, that's a significant amount of time, but I think really the spending at least a day on each set of 4 bond conversations, that just ended up making all the kind of side conversations add up to a week of work as well. So
if I'm hearing this correctly,
it was kind of tight. I only can really sit down and work on the writing for so long before I start to like lose conversation, or I start what I would call like reaching for what they're saying, and it starts to feel a little bit forced, like I'm trying too hard. So for whatever reason, I only have so much amount of time that I can sit down and work, and everything kind of flows in a way that it feels right. And then sitting for too long and trying to write, after a while it starts to not feel so good. And then
really
I'll probably end up having to go back and reread what I wrote and fix it anyways, so it's kind of better just like to not try to push it too hard. So the last week, I wasn't feeling too great mentally. I was feeling pretty downtrodden, I guess, for lack of a better word, and I had a feeling that it was probably related to my hormonal cycles. And lo and behold, it was, because a few days later I was feeling better. I was feeling more positive. I had given myself permission to like not feel bad if I didn't make the monthly deadline that I had just arbitrarily assigned to myself. And yeah, and now I'm in a position where I feel pretty good about being able to finish it in the next couple days. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end up making it after all. I'm glad I kept working on it when I was feeling like I wanted to give up, because that actually kind of gave me a chance to catch up. I didn't have fully productive days during that time, but what I did do was enough to not let myself get too derailed, as long as I just kind of kept a positive mind frame after the whole depressive incident happened. Not to say that every time you feel hopeless or you start to doubt yourself or you have roadblocks in your creative process, that the right answer is to always just power through that. Because if this is something that if you're in the mode of powering through something more than you're in the mode of like having joy and feeling energized doing it, you're gonna burn out. And then when you burn out, you're not gonna have any choice but to stop, possibly for a very long time. And it took me years to refine my passion and my love for creation, because of how badly I had burned myself out, because I had spent so many years spending the majority of my time in that powering through mode than I did spending in a mode where I was actually enjoying what I was doing. I know it sounds like really silly, because the assumption of people who are in a creative arts field is that they must love what they're doing and they're so fortunate. And I think a lot of times we tell ourselves that while we're in that position too. But there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of solitude. There's a lot of time that you can spend in a bad place, and then have to turn around when you're speaking to other people and make it sound like, you know, almost convince yourself while you're talking to them. Because why else would you like give up things like healthcare and like stability and hanging out with friends and like having some balance of a normal life if it's not, you know, bringing you joy? But a lot of professional creatives end up finding themselves in this kind of sunk cost fallacy where they invest and sacrifice so much to do what they love, and then they end up burning themselves out, and in a lot of ways it ends up being worse than having a normal 9 to 5. At least that's what I found. So if I can keep those two things separate, then it becomes a place of joy and energy for me again, except for when I'm having that time of the month. So then I have that, you know, maybe a week that I'm just like powering through it, and then the other, you know, 3 or 4 weeks it's all good. So I'm not pushing myself so much that I ever get to that point of burnout. At least I haven't in the last couple of years. So I think I finally have a system that really works for me. Speaking of which, I think I am going to be kind of laying out some of my future plans for 2025, the rest of 2024 and 2025. Even though I don't usually like to put out a release schedule, just because once I do, I feel like it might be an attack on my integrity if something were to come up and I were to not follow through, even if it was like a really legitimate thing, like, I don't know, somebody dies or I get, you know, deathly ill myself or something like that. I would still feel like I lacked integrity somehow by not being able to factor that into my scheduling plans. So I'm going to just kind of tentatively throw out that I plan on taking 6 weeks for the next update, just because there might be sort of an assumption that I'll be coming out with monthly updates, because that's what I have been sort of doing for a while now. So I just kind of wanted to set a new expectation for anybody who might care. I mean, it's probably not that many people, but those people who do care, I care about them. So even if it's only like 1 or 2 people, this is for you. So I'm planning on spending 6 weeks on chapter 10. Planning on releasing that in mid-November. And then another 6 weeks on chapter 11. So that should be coming out by the end of December. And then I'm planning on taking 2 months to do the endings, so January and February. Then beginning of March, I would like to spend a couple weeks kind of fixing up Villain's Heart and adding all the features that I added to Arcane Dice Wars, so just kind of updating that and polishing it up a little bit. And then I would like to spend the rest of March prepping for Ultimate Jam, and I have a new project in mind for that I've been thinking about a little bit off and on for the last couple months. So I have a lot of just concept type stuff rolling around in my head, what I want to do, and that will be April.
You can't escape.
June, July will be Ultimate Jam, and getting a demo out for that.
Can you see it now?
I don't know how complete it will be. It might be more of a proof of concept than an actual like finished chapter, because I might be getting in over my head a little bit with my ambitions for that. I always want to learn something new, so I'm going to be implementing a lot of new systems that I haven't worked with before, and it all depends on how easily that comes to me or how much I struggle, whether or not how much I get done for actual Ultimate Gym. It will be a darker kind of story, so something more as far as mood goes with Villain's Heart than Arcane Dice Wars, as far as like Arcane Dice Wars being a more of a lighthearted, adventurous romp, and Villain's Heart being a little bit more darker. So, yeah, I think that's all I've really got to say for this week, and just wanted to let anybody who might have been wondering about me from last week know that I'm doing well. My material situation hasn't really changed. I'm still struggling with the same things I was struggling last week as far as like challenges in my life circumstances, but my attitude is better, so I can just deal with it better now like I have been, and I still look forward to getting up every morning and having a chance to work on my projects. So I hope you can have that type of enthusiasm for whatever it is in your life that brings you joy, and as always, don't forget to enjoy the process. Bye now.